stage with Rahul Kabau.
Mayawati says her state is under extreme financial duress. As Chief Minister, she has been urging the centre to step in and pay compensation to the stampede victims of Pratapgarh. Bareilly is still highly tense, but none of that mattered when this grand 1,000 rupee garland was placed over Mayawati in Lucknow this morning. It's an image that has generated very strong reactions all across the country. The Congress is calling it a national shame. It's been called a scandalous show of brute money power. The BSP, though, sees absolutely nothing wrong. It's a gift from the people who love Mayawati. BSP leaders are telling us broke for compensation, but 200 crore rupees for a birthday bash. Isn't this blue murder? We'll debate that on the centre stage Face Off this evening, but these are the stories that have made the headlines today. Haryana Special Task Force turns out to be a gang of ruthless robbers in police uniform. An embarrassed Huda government disbands the team after closed-circuit TVs catch them robbing a stockbroker and extorting a jeweler. After ramming through the women's reservation bill in the Rajya Sabha, the government develops cold feet, beats a tactical retreat on the nuclear liability bill in the face of massive opposition in the Lok Sabha. But US Ambassador Timothy Roma says the UPA should table this bill. Riot-tainted Modi hammers out a strategy to duck questioning by the Special Investigation Team. Senior advocate Ram Jethmalani moves the Supreme Court, challenging summons to Modi over the Gulbarg massacre. India's prestigious ballistic missile shield project suffers a huge setback. A crucial test of the country's low-altitude interceptor weapon is aborted after its target went rogue in the air. Scientists are piecing together the bewildering sequence of events. And after the battering in the polls, BJP's new president Nitin Gadkari readies to roll out his dream team. Vasundhara Raje Scindia, Varun Gandhi and Arjun Munda are likely to be a part of the Gadkari coterie. Mayawati has indulged in a criminal display of wealth and pomp. Lucknow was washed in blue to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the BSP, and she has raised her bar to a whole new level. Not only did she splurge 200 crore rupees on a rally, she accepted a garland made of 1,000 rupee notes. Never mind, most of those in the crowd cannot afford 1 square meal a day. Never mind that just 250 kilometers away, Bareilly is still simmering. But Madam Maya, it seems, is more interested in celebrations than in providing relief.
A city drowned in celebration, ostentation. Lucknow awash with the BSP's blue to mark the silver jubilee of the Bahujan Samaj Party. In stark contrast, Bareilly is burning with one of its worst communal riots. Not to forget Pratapgarh, which is still coming to terms with one of the worst stampedes in recent memory. It's the dirtiest display of double standards by the Mayawati government.
उत्तर प्रदेश में आज 200 करोड़ रुपया खर्च हो रहा है सरकारी, उसको रैली हो रही और आज ये 200 करोड़ रुपया कहाँ से खर्च हो रहा है? सरकारी पैसा खर्च हो रहा है और बरेली में आग लगी हुई है।
The BSP indulged in a vulgar show of wealth and grandeur to commemorate the anniversary of its founding. A massive rally was organized in Lucknow, attended by nearly 25 lakh people from across the country. The grand dais almost resembling a lavish film set. The giant garland to honor Mayawati. The cultural programs. It was all typical of Behenji's boisterous style. Out of the nearly 200 crore rupees spent, 50 crores were allocated for setting up of toilets. 50 lakh rupees splurged on flowers to adorn the venue. 12,000 transport buses, 17 makeshift hospitals and over 500 paramedics on duty. As if all this weren't enough, Mayawati declared that her statue building spree won't stop. Even as the extravaganza was on in Lucknow, there was a huge uproar in Parliament over the UP government turning a blind eye to the deteriorating situation in Bareilly.
I demand a judicial inquiry into the entire Bareilly incident. Two, I would like the government to step in at this point and be proactive. You can't have a Maha rally forcing people into buses and trucks to take them so that you can have a 20 lakh rally from Bareilly itself.
Bareilly is burning this communal rights, and that she is having this kind of a rally, and there is in Bareilly there is a curfew, but the people from Bareilly and the buses are going to the rally. So you can see how the buses are protected by the government and by the local administration.
Bareilly is burning, but Mayawati chooses to celebrate and blow her trumpet. Compensation to the stampede victims was delayed, but she splurged in crores for the rally in Lucknow. But despite all the pomp and show, the rally turned out to be a damn squib as she failed to pull crowds. But at the same time, she used the platform for centre bashing and pave way for the 2012 elections. With cameraman Mohammed Salim, Rachna Rishi from Lucknow for Headlines Today.
She says she's got no money to pay compensation to the victims of the Pratapgarh stampede, but 200 crore rupees was spent on celebrations of the BSP's birthday. Is this not blue murder? That's the center stage face-off for tonight. We're joined by Abhishek Singhvi, national spokesperson of the Congress, Prakash Zavadekar, BJP MP is with us. We'll also have Vijay Bahadur Singh, leader of the BSP, and with me in the studio mail today is editor Bharat Bhushan. Abhishek Singhvi, I'll come to you first. We've been speaking to BSP leaders who in their defense have been saying that this is money that's been collected by private donations. Unlike parties like yours which take a lot of money from industrialists, BSP says it's collected money from the Aam Aadmi, and if the Aam Aadmi wants to see a celebration of this sort, a celebration of Dalit rights, a celebration of Dalit emancipation, why are you calling it blue murder?
I will just say, tell this story to the birds, even the birds won't believe it. If the BSP thinks that the people of India eat grass and have no intelligence, then I think they don't deserve to rule in any part of India. Just consider this. In my view, this is an insult to the memory of great icons like Ambedkar, like Kanchiram. In their name, what is being done is nothing short of murder. It's like misusing Gandhi's name to do completely anti-Gandhian things. The one project alone, it gives an idea of what she's doing, in the Baba Saheb Parivartan Sthal, was originally conceived in 1995 at a cost of 9 crores. Today that one project alone is running at 1,000 crores. I mean, this is self-aggrandizement bordering on the levels of megalomania. And in a democracy, if you think that merely because you have a majority, you can say that black is white and white is black, well, I think you've got another guess coming. The people of this country in 2010 are certainly not that foolish or supine or helpless. And somewhere this translates into great akrosh, great anger. You will notice that very rarely, if ever, and again today is the case, a BSP would not have any spokesperson or official or defender. They deliberately don't do it because they say that this is something which is not required in a democracy. We'll do what we want. We will not explain, we will not justify, we will not elaborate. And we can keep on debating here, okay, as long as we get black and blue, but she'll go ahead and do what she wants.
Okay, she's really going ahead and doing what she wants, and you're calling it megalomania. Bharat Bhushan, I want you to talk about the pictures on our screen at this time. We're just putting up these images of the 1,000 rupee garland. Initially, Mayawati said these were flowers. Then ultimately, when we got close-up images, the BSP had to come out and admit that this is indeed a garland made up of notes. Now the question is, how can this be acceptable in a democracy? Just last week she said she's got no money. She wanted money from the center to pay compensation to Pratapgarh riots. And just look at what she's doing 1 week. This anaconda garland made up of 1,000 rupee notes. Is this not blue murder?
I think it's certainly unusual to have a garland that is made out of 1,000 rupee notes, and quite a few of them. Some people say 50,000 such notes have been used, so that would make it 5 crore. But my question to you would be that if this was ill-gotten money, would she be making such a display? Does she want to get arrested by income tax authorities? So I would tend to believe that her supporters would have given 1,000 rupees each, conceivably, and she's made a garland out of it. Now, whether you and I would celebrate a party's birthday like this is another matter, but it has to be seen in the context of Dalit assertion. People who feel done down want to celebrate in a particular way. Perhaps they overdo it. So I would say yes. I won't do it this way, but if she's doing it,
Okay,
it's all right.
Vijay Bahadur Singh is a BSP leader. He's with us on the line at this time. Mr. Singh, explain to our viewers the rationale behind this 1,000 rupee garland. It's an image that shocked viewers across the country. Just last week we heard the Chief Minister say she's got no money to pay compensation. Shouldn't each of these 1,000 rupee notes, instead of being garlanded on Mayawati, have been given to the people? They needed the money much more than the manner in which the Chief Minister is simply blowing it up.
Please understand the whole psyche. It is the people who love it. If a people goes to a temple and offers all his belongings and gold, what is wrong? It is not on at the instance of my leader Mahan Kumari Mayawati. It is the people who is doing this. So there is nothing there that they have a deep love with her.
Okay, stay with me for a moment. I want to put this question to Prakash Javadekar of the BJP. It's the love of the people. Bharat Bhushan also says, look at it in the context of Dalit empowerment. People want to do it, it's their money. And he says it's not ill-gotten money, because if it was, the BSP would not make such a show and dance of it, because then the chances of being caught by the income tax department are very high. So if this is money that the people have given her, why are you complaining?
This is not people who have donated. This is not empowerment of Dalit. Let us not misunderstand. This is the worst kind of exhibition of the money power they want to show, and this is the pervert thinking and pervert display of wealth. The real thing is, it's a loot. And let us understand, she has an innovative practice she has adopted. Every year she is declaring hundreds of crores being given to her, and she is showing that as a donation from public to herself in her income tax return and paying the tax. So what she is in fact doing, when the CBI inquiry was launched, it was found out that there were many people, the way BSP MLA was saying, it is not true that they are giving everything before the God. It is not. They were giving more than what they have. They were staying in Juggi Jhopadi, but they were giving her 10 lakh rupees.
Okay.
So this is all the case. The real
Bharat
problem
Bhushan
is
wants
the
to respond to
system.
this.
And in system, let me.
Yeah, I just want to say that it's not Dalit empowerment. I said it's Dalit assertion of a particular kind. Rest of India may not like it. One. Two, if CBI is inquiring into it, and if this is indeed money that is being, black money being converted into white, then prosecute her. Prosecute her. Take her to court. Why isn't the CBI doing that?
Abhishek Manu Singhvi, respond to that. It's your government that's in power in the centre. If this is indeed ill-gotten money, and if Mayawati has pulled off a big scam like you're alleging, you're calling it a national shame, blue murder, national scam, then go out and prove it.
First of all, I don't buy the logic that when there is something gross, palpably on the face of it, something illegal happening, you must say and wait that let it go on, but you must then prosecute. Prosecution of course will follow, and I must remind you as my point number 2, that for this very act, which is nothing more and nothing less, and you don't require to be a genius chartered accountant or a lawyer to understand this, it's a conversion exercise. For this very conversion of hundreds of crores, she is being proceeded against by the income tax department, and cases are going on in courts. Now this is yet another year, a new year, and she's doing it all over again. The point is, there are limitations of the law. Income tax, for example, has basically revenue monetary penalties. Other jurisdictions may have more coercive penalties, but there are proceedings, there are appeals, there are challenges. Those cases are going on, and she is repeating the act. I want to ask one thing. What is the budgetary deficit of Uttar Pradesh? What is the money spent on education, on roads, on female literacy? There is something which is known as propriety, moderation, democratic accountability. It's not a question of law alone. And you can't sit back and say, look, a Dalit assertion cannot be allowed to be anti-democratic and illegal.
Okay, I've
And
got
that's
the
not
figures.
what the Dalits
I've got
are
the
asserting.
figures for the fiscal deficit of Uttar Pradesh. It's what 22,742 crore rupees, which is 4.4%. Our research tells us of India's gross domestic product. The 22,742 crore rupees. That's how much of a deficit the state is in. I want to go across to Vijay Bahadur Singh. It seems, Mr. Singh, that your leaders' priorities are all warped. The level of crime in Uttar Pradesh is amongst the highest in the country. We're seeing so many people, including Dalits, being raped, being murdered, and despite that, the police force which is being created at this time is being created with the intent of protecting the statues that are being built, spending thousands of crores all across Uttar Pradesh. Explain to our viewers these warped priorities. Law and order is a problem, and you're creating a police force, a security force to protect the statues. What's really going on?
No, you are sadly mistaken. It is your biased view. Please appreciate. The Uttar Pradesh is the only state where there is strict orders of the government and our beloved Chief Minister that every crime should be reported, investigated, and a person should be brought to the book. In other states, there is suppression of crimes. And why don't you forget that the Uttar Pradesh is the highest thickly populated state in country. Thirdly, for the last 60 years, it is the Uttar Pradesh which has been financially neglected, and the crime has always a correlation with the financial progress. When we demanded 80,000 crores, you did not give even 1 rupee.
No, but Mr. Singh, you're saying that this is the assertion of Dalit rights. This is really people wanting to do this. But what about all those students from class 12 this morning, sir? Students of the geography paper who had to come today at 5 o'clock in the morning. They had to reach school because the routes were being sealed off. What about all those students, the thousands of people who were inconvenienced because of this grand display, and people who had to stay up all the night? What does Mayawati and what does your party have to say to these students?
I'm sorry. This is the Indian press. How you do you know? Once the honorable Prime Minister was going and a person could not go to the hospital and the person died. I may tell you, it is a historic rally where about more than 20 to 25 lakhs of people had gathered, and not one incident has happened. Not one shop was looted. Not one was harassed. It's the most disciplined people because they have motivated and they have such a big desire to see their leader, and one of the most disciplined congregations ever played in the Asia. Please appreciate this.
Okay. Prakash Javadekar, respond to that. Whenever there's a big rally, why are you picking on?
I'll explain to you.
Vijay Bahadur Singh is calling this the elitist media and elitist Brahminical parties and the Brahminical political system looking down on what is really Dalit empowerment. How do you respond to this? It is a fact that when the Prime Minister was going to AIIMS, a patient could not come in and the patient died. That is a fact. This happened with other parties. Why are you picking just on the BSP?
Yes.
No, we are not picking. You have picked up the story. The real point is because we know, people understand, and people really will punish Mayawati for this splurge. The real thing is the Congress politics is behind it. The Congress, when Mayawati supports, the Congress Bureau of Investigation, namely CBI, gives a favorable affidavit. Suddenly, when she opposes, they suddenly make U-turn and give negative affidavit. That is how they are using CBI for their political vis-a-vis various regional parties. Let it be Mulayam Singh Yadav, let it be the communists there, let it be the Mayawati and other parties. That is the politics which has given these people the freedom they want, because they know once they support the Congress, and now Congress will be in difficulty, so they are off the hook.
Dr. Singhvi, respond to that charge coming from Prakash Javadekar of the BJP.
If it was not serious, it would be comic. Look at the supreme irony. The person who's making this charge belongs to a political party which has with Mayawati's party. A whole government run together. Number one. Number two, in 2009, just a few months ago, Ms. Mayawati was sought to become the fulcrum of an anti-Congress movement. All the parties were supposed to get together with her to work against the Congress. The BJP did not come out openly, but the BJP was right there behind it, behind that whole move. This is as much as just 5 months ago. Now these are the parties who are making this allegation. But what is serious is it deflects and diverts from the true irony of a democracy. The Dalits are not asked ever that look, if from one sthal, Ambedkar Parivartan Sthal, from one sthal, 1,000 crores was saved from there and spent on you, would you then be empowered, or are you now being showing your assertion and identity as it is put? If the Dalits were so asked and explained, they would realize that 22 such sthals would wipe out the entire, or rather non-construction of 22 such sthals would wipe out the entire deficit of the state. So this is nothing but hijacking and assuming that might, just like might is right, majority is right, merely because you are elected, you can do what you like. Well, we don't have a right of recall, we don't have an interim election, but you can rest assured that the moment the time comes, the time is less than a few months or less than a year later, you will find that the result comes 2 years later, the result will be shown.
Okay, Vijay Bahadur Singh, since the beginning of this month, the situation in Bareilly has been very tense. The Chief Minister hasn't been to the city even once. The city continues to simmer. Despite that, it really seems to be a classical case of Nero playing the fiddle while Rome is burning. There's this big celebration happening and the situation on the ground is completely not being looked at.
I may tell you the whole thing. There is a tendency to overblow the problems. For example, you are saying in a democratic way, the Rahul Gandhi is a member of parliament from Amethi. When he goes to Amethi, entire Doordarshan flashes. We are also member of parliament. We won with more votes. Nobody, not even whisper. Do you think this is the way how the Doordarshan, which is a government of India press, should behave? If the madam goes to the Rahul to Raebareli, the whole Doordarshan is flooded. You see, and when anything happens, kindly see, in that part.
It's not about what Doordarshan does. My question is about the fact that the situation in a very important city of Uttar Pradesh,
why
even
I
as
am
we speak
saying
tonight, is tense. And look at what the Chief Minister is doing. She's blowing up crores of rupees on what can only be called megalomania.
You are not only to what crore, not even 1%. If you could throw out 15,000 rupees for a Commonwealth game, which will finish in 15 days, and nothing will happen. I may tell you, it is not 1%. If for the last 63 years, if the same thing would have been done for the BSP people would not have bothered. Why did you not, even it took out more than 40 years for Dr. Ambedkar to find his statue in the parliament. And there are so many other leaders, they got the place in 5 years, in 2 years.